Since that seems to be a problem.
Yeah.
I'm just my saddle on, you know. Just thinking about going climbing a telephone pole or something.
We're gonna do tree trimming.
I'm gonna climb me a deer pole. Shoot me some deer. We're up in Pennsylvania. At my dad's place. Came up to see them. Dad had surgery on his hip. So I want to come say hello and shoot all his deer for him. It is prime time. Yeah. Deer are moving. I'm getting into the rut. We got a lot of deer on camera up here.
November 4th.
Yeah, today, well, no.
November 5th.
November 5th. So this is prime time. So we drove up last night. It's a nice long 4-hour drive to go 120 miles. Thank you, Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. I love you guys. And yeah, get up early. We're gonna go get in the woods. But first time Chris has hunted this property, so that'd be good for you. But we got a lot of does and we got some bucks. We got some decent bucks. We got one really nice. Oh, we got 2 good bucks. One incredible, like whew, really, really nice buck. And then the other 2, and the rest of the other 2. The rest of them are all shooters for the most part. But yeah, I'm excited because we got a perfect south wind for where we want to hunt today, and good opportunity to get a doe or a decent buck. I don't care, whatever walks in front of me first is getting shot, so it should be fun. But yeah, see what happens.
Well, like Garrett said, so we're excited. We're up here in Pennsylvania. Should be down in Virginia hunting too. I mean, it's prime time. Some guys are killing some really nice bucks and they're moving around down there too, but we've been getting our butt kicked down in Virginia, so we decided to change it up a little bit and headed up here. And
we have seen deer.
Yeah, we have seen deer, but we're getting our butt kicked down there, so we're gonna change it up, come up Pennsylvania for the day, and yeah, get up here and do a little hunting, and we'll try to get a bow hunt in. This is probably the only opportunity we're gonna have a bow hunt this until the gun season, right at Thanksgiving. So we're gonna get up here, bow hunt it today, hang a ladder stand for the rifle season as well, and then yeah, be ready for that. But let's get ready. Let's go. Well, we made it up in a tree, so walked in here and never hunted this before, never even seen this side really in many years. So walked in here and had a bunch of like raccoons and stuff in the field. Just saw eyes, and then just seeing massive trails entering and exiting the field. So I just pushed along, and then the first tree I really could get into, the brush line is super thick on the field edge. So I just kinda moved into the first tree I could get into. I'm, of course, second guessing where I'm set up at. When I was set on my sticks, out in front of me walked a deer, walked by at like 40-50 yards, so I could just see the silhouette of it. And then it would just walk by and then enter the field over here. But, I mean, it's a good morning. It's hot, though. The weather's weird today. So, it's gonna be overcast and kind of warm in the low 70s. So, hopefully they'll want to be on their feet, moving and feeding. It shouldn't stop the bucks from wanting to chase some does. So hopefully one wants to chase one by us close enough to get a shot. Wow, it has been a slow morning. We haven't seen anything out in the field or
So I don't know what the heck is going on. We had deer on camera just right over here. Yeah, we had 3 decent bucks. A couple of them definitely would take a shot at on camera. 8:30 to 9 o'clock in the morning. But this morning has been slow. I don't know if it's the weather or what. It's pretty warm. It only got down to 60 last night. November 5th, and I got mosquitoes flying around me. It's crazy. They should still be out trying to cruise for some does. Pretty sure Garrett hasn't seen anything either.
Well, here's the update. I haven't done anything, an update all morning because it has been quiet. It's 9:30. I've been in the stand for 3 hours. Shooting light was at 7:10. I had what I'm pretty sure was a deer walk behind me before the shooting light, and then I'm pretty sure the other thing I heard was a small furry animal of some kind. But otherwise it's been quiet. Now I did just have about 20 minutes ago, I had a doe pop out on the trail up here to my left. So I'm sitting down at the bottom of the hollow here on this finger of woods on my dad's place. Divides 2 fields, and there's a stream that runs down the middle from some spring-fed stream. And there's a bunch of trails all through here. There's tons of trails and stuff in here. When she popped out, I thought she was going to come down into the bottom, but she worked her way up towards the field behind the barn, and she was a big doe. I watched her for a little bit up behind, but then I lost her. So I don't know if she went up to the field and walked down the edge or circled around. I'm surprised she didn't catch my wind back there, because my wind's blowing right back to where she was walking. So I don't know. But deer are up and moving, I guess. Chris hasn't seen anything. We've been trying some grunts and rattling a little bit. But the weather's garbage. It's muggy. We had a little bit of drizzle this morning. It's like that, almost feels like spring weather. So it's supposed to be getting warmer today, tomorrow, and into Monday. Not real crazy about that. I'm sure the deer aren't crazy about it either. But give it a little bit longer here, grab some lunch, set up a ladder stand, and then get set up for the evening hunt. But we'll give it a little bit of time here before we climb down. Maybe you'll have another doe come walking in, or maybe a buck chasing that doe. See what happens. It's that time of year, you never know what's going to happen. I do love this time of year. Well, it's almost lunchtime now, so I climbed down, worked my way through that finger, found a really good scrape, and a really big rub, fairly recent rub. So that thing was just all chewed up all around, just big around as my forearm. So there's a big boy in here that we've got on camera, hoping that we can get on him either tonight or rifle season when we get back up here, because we won't get back up here before rifle season. But Chris climbed down. He's looking for where he's going to hang his stuff for the night. So he's probably gone through at least 10-20 trees at this point, and trying to figure out where he's going to sit. But he's going to sit the far side, see if he can catch anything coming out into the bean field on that side. I'm not sure if I'm going to go back down into the hollow here, or if I'm going to go over to the hay wagon corner, set up on the tree line there, see if anything comes out in the bean field there tonight. So, decisions. So I pulled all my stuff down out of the tree, and we'll see what we can find for tonight. But right now I'm hungry. I'm gonna go get me something to drink and get me some food, and wait for Chris to wander his way back this way. So there you have it. stay tuned for tonight.
As you can see, I'm down out of the stand. I got down at like 10 and climbed down quiet as possible, packed up all my stuff, and I just skirted up this field edge away from where Garrett is behind me here to this other corner where I kind of wanted to be. I'm actually right here where I wanted to be this morning, so I could see this corner back here, because the field kind of does this rolling edge here down into the bottom where Garrett's at, and I was on this side of it, but not where I wanted to be. So this is right where that doe, I caught her eyes after she walked by me. She kind of came close to that wood line here, and she entered somewhere right in here. But up and down this field edge, there's just trails in and out. And then, so I took it, walked all the way to the corner into the loop, just about 20-30 yards inside the tree line. There's a nice little opening and some trails. Found some old rubs and a couple older scrapes, nothing crazy, small scrapes. And then I came back into here, and I'd already actually looked at this spot where I wanted to be before. So you can kind of see right here behind me. I just went in, set my stick, set my platform, put my tethered up, my bow, my hook for my backpack, and the camera arm, the mount to the tree. So that way I can just slip in here this afternoon, get up, put the camera in, and I'm all set. Hang my pack up, bring my bow up, and I'm all set up. So we're gonna get out of here nice and quietly, heading back. Garrett's still sitting there in case I bump anything to him, and I'm gonna head back that way to the house, and then we're gonna grab a quick bite to eat, and then I think we're gonna go hang a ladder stand for rifle season when we come back here in 3 weeks. But I really like this spot. Hoping they come out in this corner this morning. Got a really good trail underneath me. I found like a pretty fresh scrape right actually at the base of the tree that it got up in. So you never know. You just need one to cruise on by. I'll take a good old freezer queen any day. So hopefully we can make it happen tonight.
You know what you're doing?
Nope.
Doesn't look like it.
Hey,
Those are some pretty fancy boots.
Uncle Garrett.
Oh no, what do you want?
I read the
You
instructions.
can like over here a minute.
I'm busy a second. I'll be right there.
Why is those boots are like there?
So they don't get any smell on them. You gotta keep them scent free. Those are special scent free boots. Smell them. They don't smell like nothing.
They probably smell like deer pee because I sprayed deer pee this morning.
Hey, Uncle Garrett.
Yeah, they come out there. They come out over here. Come out there. Come out there. Come out over here. That 9 came out of here.
Yeah, that browse line is insane.
The wind's not great.
Well, for today, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Well, this is how the wind usually is.
it's always usually a south wind.
Predominantly, this is the wind we have. Which is why I don't like hunting over here. So they know they come in over here. They filter, they come this way, and they filter out into the field all the way along. So you have them like coming out like this. Which is why I always sat way up there. Because that's from the wagon to here to the corner is 150. But I've been busted up there before.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a good spot. Maybe even,
That's what I'm saying. One of these two,
yeah.
but we just have to do a bunch of trimming to get in there.
I'm gonna start trimming. I didn't realize these are like PVC cutters.
Oh yeah.
So you could keep squeezing. I didn't
Like a
realize-
ratchet,
Yeah.
ratchet style.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. HME pruners, you saw, not a sponsor, but they should be.
I'm gonna try to not blow out of a tree.
It's a little windy.
It's a little windy. I'm hoping that doesn't keep the deer down, but
Let's hope not.
I hope not.
Well, good luck.
Good luck.
Well,
time to go do the evening sit. So we'll work our way down here and get it back up into that tree that we set up for this morning. But yeah, took a little break, set up a ladder stand. Garrett's actually gonna hunt the ladder stand tonight, so we set it up in a spot where it'd be good for a rifle, and it'd be better for rifle, more opportunities, but you can still hunt it with a bow. Now, some of that looks worked. That scrape almost looks like it's been worked since I walked by it this morning, but I don't think it did. We're looking at putting a ground blind down here in this point. Kind of trying to see how I would set it up. Set it up right here so I can shoot down this field edge. Let's see what we can do. But it is windy today, as you can see. Oh yeah. Good trench right there. It is windy. Really hoping that this wind doesn't keep the deer bedded down or keep them up in the tree lines when they want to come out in these fields and feed. I don't know. So we don't have any cameras in this spot that I'm going to. So we don't know what the deer have been doing. We're hoping they've been doing what they're doing in the other corner where we do have a camera, and that is they've been coming out in the bottom in the corner right at 5:30, 5:45, and then they hang out for 30-45 minutes and feed. So just that last little bit of light, they pop out into the field and want to feed. So I'm hoping they do the same thing over on this side. But time to get in the tree.
All right. Well, hopefully you can hear me, because it's a little bit windy. We got like 14-15 mile an hour winds here this afternoon. So 3 o'clock, and I'm up in the stand. Chris and I put this. Ooh boy, trying not to blow away. Chris and I got this ladder stand put up right on the edge of the field here. I like this. Perfect little spot for bow hunting. I've got 20, 30, 40 yards. Well, I've got everywhere from like 10 yards to 40-yard shots I could take from here. So I really like it. Opened it up in front of me here. Some branches right here I cut out. So now I got a nice open spot I can shoot right off the edge. So I like the spot. It's pretty good. And the wind we got a south wind today, so it's pushing my wind back in right over my left shoulder here. And deer typically come out from the corner, here where my camera is, all the way up along the edge, and they come out over by the pasture side and come into the field here. And we've been seeing them coming up, working their way, well, at least in the trail cam pictures we have, working their way up to the beans along the side here. So I'm hoping they kind of come out here and work their way over, and I can get a shot on one. That's what I'm hoping for. So we'll see what happens. Be real nice. Punch a tag here today. Pennsylvania's always been really good to me. Keep your fingers crossed. Some action here. Got like 2 hours, 3 hours of shooting light. So see what happens.
All set up here for the evening sit. Feeling pretty good, other than it's super windy. And so, if you've ever sat in a tree stand, whether it's a climber, or hang on, or even a saddle, and it's windy like this, it can get a little sketchy. And we got one tree that fell over here, and then when we were at the truck getting dressed and getting set up down in the holler where Garrett was actually set up this morning, there's a big tree branch fell from the top. We watched that one happen. So it's windy and it's a little sketchy. I got one tree here that is kind of questionable if it can stay standing. But other than that, we look good. I'm excited. I think there's definitely gonna be some deer that's gonna pop out here to the corner from me. I got, 20, 30 yard shots marked out, and then another trail that's right here in front of me popping out. I can swing around the tree, and it's a 30 yard shot to that as well. And then back here behind me, I got a couple of holes that are anywhere from 20 to 25 yards. So hopefully some deer get up moving. The only downside is I got the sun that's gonna set right here. If they come out this corner, it's gonna set right in my shooting lane. So that might make it a little tricky. And then right now the sun is just beating down on me right now, and it's definitely a warm one. I just looked out in the field and there was a buck chasing a doe. And they circled around and they went right back in where I was sitting this morning. Hopefully they come up this way. It's a buck. It comes to the left. Wow, that was pretty exciting. So, I had a group of turkeys come. I've been hearing them back here, clucking around and stuff. And I picked up their little tail feathers and it's black going through the brush. So I was trying to swing and get the camera on that. And just as they went by, and I was just messing around, I glanced up in front of me, back down the corner, closer to where I was sitting this morning. And here comes a doe and a buck hot on her tail. She went out in the field probably about 80 yards, just looped around, and actually probably came back into where, or close to where I was sitting this morning. And then about a minute later, she popped back out. She got out about, 40 yards out into the field, and it just stopped. And my wind's just blowing straight to there. So I'm pretty sure she winded me. I got this tree that was blocking us. So I don't think she saw me. I got decent back cover. I don't think she saw me. She knew something was up, but she stopped, and then the buck was 15 yards away from her and stopped, and they were both looking this way. So I just think they smelled the buck. Didn't wait very long. He went right back in to the tree line where they come out the second time, and she sat there for, I don't know, probably 15 minutes or so. She would feed, and then she'd pick her head up and look at me and look this way. And then the wind kind of shifted, and it's kind of blowing out, maybe, I don't know. Shifted just slightly, and she didn't like that, and so she went back down in the corner where she came from. But it's 4:30, deer on their feet, moving around. We just need them to come a little closer. That's it. Alright.
What do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about how I had 12 deer in the field tonight?
Ooh.
Yeah, I had a doe come out at 50, and then she was, there was some trash, some styrofoam stuff blowing around in the bean field.
Was it that white? We should have went and grabbed that when we put that stand up.
We should have.
I didn't even think about it. I thought it was been there for so long that...
Yeah, I looked at it and I was like, I should go get that. No, that'll be fine. And then doe walks out at 50 yards at 4:30 and was like not having it, and she ended up taking off. And then I had a buck and two smaller does come out, a small little buck. It looked like he was just like a spike that came out like this.
Oh, that's a different buck than I saw.
No, I didn't see any points other than the main beam that came out like this.
Oh, both the bucks I saw were forks.
Oh, I didn't see any forks on this guy, but that wind blew and that thing waved, and one of the buck and one of the does went right back in the woods.
Yeah.
The other one was like super curious about it and kept looking at it. I thought she was gonna come over and come in, and she didn't. She took off finally. Those deer never got it like closer than 45 yards.
Yeah.
The ones that stayed in the field.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm not taking. I was like,
No,
30,
no,
I was like,
no,
in this
not in
wind,
this wind.
30 yards.
Yeah. That's
And
even
then
pushing it.
a lone doe come out of the corner, and she was like, I thought she was going to come right up the edge.
Yeah.
She was feeding right there, and then she decided to go out towards where towards the center there, and then she stopped. And I sort of ranged her. She was at 30 yards. I was like, all right. So I drew back, and she started stepping a little bit. And then, so I waited till she stopped. Well, I guess, and I just held for 30, and it literally went right behind her front legs and and underneath her belly, hit the ground. So, I mean, I guess I thought she was paralleling
She
me.
probably walked out to 35.
And I'm guessing that she walked, in the time frame she went where I ranged her
Yeah.
until where she stopped,
Yeah.
she went from 30 to 35.
Yeah. And then didn't duck.
And of course, like I was holding a little low.
Yeah. Anticipating the duck.
Yeah, anticipating the duck, and she whirled and went back in the woods. And then right 10 minutes before shoot light ended, 7 deer walked out in the field.
Ooh.
Never got closer than 50 yards.
That's closer than mine got.
They let me get all the way down out of the stand into the field before they blew out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's closer than mine got.
So that was my evening. And I had one running around behind me. I think it winded me, like spazzed out. So there you have it. I'm a little upset.
Apologize for the wind. There's nothing we can do. It's blowing 15 miles an hour with gusts at 30. I had 4 trees around me go down.
I heard them.
Did you hear that really big one?
Yeah. Did you see it?
It was like, "Coo-coo," and I look over and like a whole top half of a tree just goes. And I was like, and I got my bow and I was like, okay, it's gonna push some deer towards me. Because it was like 100 yards away down in the holler on the neighbor's property.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, I pushed deer right up into the field. Like, it was loud. And then like as I'm climbing down, just trees are falling down left and right. But I mean, good night. So I'm gonna chalk my half up to a good scouting and intel day. So got my spot, got set, was feeling good, swaying in the trees, hoping one of the big oaks around me doesn't come down on me.
Right.
But then I saw some turkeys about 45 yards into the brush, into the tree line. They passed by me. And I was like, all right, that's cool. And I tried to get them on film, but I don't think I did. And I was getting ready to text you, and then all of a sudden, out of the bottom, out of the corner, so I like looking at the field down here, and I'm 150, 170 yards from that corner. I see something come out of the bottom running, and I thought it was a coyote. And I was like, oh. And then next thing I know, I was like, no, it's a deer. And then right behind it was a buck just chasing it. She comes out about 80 yards out in the field, just does a big loop and goes right back in the woods. Not like, but like, she came out and then came in. So not the same spot. Yeah. And then like a minute later, she popped back out again with that buck on her tail. And I was like, ooh, he's gonna chase her up here. And she got out and about 40 yards out and just went and looked right up at my direction. And I was like, what the heck? But the wind's blowing right to her.
Yeah.
So she stood there, and then the buck stopped. When she stopped, the buck stopped. And then buck, wasn't messing around. He just went back in the woods. She stood there. She started feeding a little bit. Stood there, but she just kept looking in that direction. Like they knew something was there, but not what was there.
Yeah.
And so she stayed for like 15 minutes and then left. And then I had a doe pop out of the corner I'm watching, but the way I was set up, I needed them to walk out like 30 yards from the corner, and then I could shoot because I just had brush in my way.
Yeah.
And it was small, like when I texted you, it was small. Like the back was at the top of the beans.
Tender.
Yeah. I was like, oh. But I'm waiting for like the big doe to come out, you know, or like a buck to get behind her because I just saw a buck chasing a doe. And So she hung out with me for like 15 minutes, and then she just was like, oh, and walked in the woods and hopped in the woods. I was like, okay, but closer to me. And I had a good, so in the woods I had some good openings. I thought they would like parallel the field.
Yeah.
So I was expecting her to come through there, and she didn't. And then I looked down that corner again about at 6 o'clock. So, or no, 5:45. 5:45.
Had it been earlier.
5:45.
Yeah.
6 does popped out.
Nice.
3 big does and
Yeah.
3 fawns. And I was like, ooh. But it's the same thing. As soon as they got up to about 40 yards from the tree line, they like looked right up in that direction.
Yeah.
And they knew like something was there. A couple times they fed like towards me and stuff. And then a buck popped out.
Oh, so a buck did pop out.
And he was like, as soon as he popped out, lip curling, like, and I was like, ooh, he's gonna chase him up here.
Yeah.
And he like pushed them away from me. I was like, what the heck?
What a jerk.
And so they went down. They didn't go into the woods here in this finger,
Yeah.
but it does like a weird lip, and they were on that lip.
Oh,
like
okay.
all I could see was their heads sometimes.
Yeah.
And then not sure, but I looked over at one point, and I think I saw another buck, a different buck,
Nice.
but still like nothing crazy big.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm sitting in the field, and this tree line,
Yeah.
about 145 yards, because I ranged her, popped out a doe and a fawn. And then a minute before last shot, that fawn popped out,
Yeah.
and another fawn and a big doe. And they fed right out. And I'm like, you couldn't do that an hour ago?
Right.
And where was the other 2?
Yeah.
But then they fed, and they fed against that tree line.
Oh,
So nothing came
within your shoot lane.
to my tree line that I was trying to get on.
Yeah.
But nothing says that you don't do that, get them all, and then they come up that way.
And rifle
The
season,
only reason I think those does didn't come up towards me was the wind.
you know, because you stink.
Yeah. Oh, and when the first doe and buck, I took that doe estrus, I sprayed it at the tree around me. I even undid
Let
the
it blow
cap and
down?
poured some out on the ground. Like,
Let it blow down.
I was trying to do anything to mask anything,
Yeah.
but it is just too much. You can't.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help that it's 75 degrees and
No, it's miserable.
I'm sweating.
I guess we should get some food. We gotta get on the road.
We gotta get on the road, yeah.
So eat dinner and go. So,
Sounds like a plan.
how can people find us? By subscribing.
Yellow pages.
Yellow pages.
No, you can hit the little box right here and hit subscribe. You're gonna want to do that, and if you hit subscribe, you can go back and look at some of our other stuff, like Ohio, where we had a
Ohio.
really good season.
Yeah.
Go check that out.
Just watch everything.
Just watch everything.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy it.
And buy a hat.
Yeah, go to the website.
See you later.